Last night was my first time. My first time watching The Ultimatum on Netflix. Hit the like and subscribe button as the intro plays. All right, so I have avoided The Ultimatum for several seasons now. I was never really a big Love is Blind fan, though I watched one season and a half, maybe a season and a half. I watched this last season. So last night I was thinking I need something to fall asleep to. Let me just click on this because there was nothing else to watch. So I clicked on it and I'm hooked.
To this day.
I'm hooked and I'm wondering why I never watched the show to begin with because it's my type of show. Although I'm more of a real reality TV show where you follow the lives of reality people, although it might be fake, but still I like to follow these people. I mentioned in another video that, I like voyeurism. We all kind of do if we're watching reality TV, even if it's not reality. But let me start by saying, a 24-year-old should not be concerned about getting married. A 25-year-old should not be concerned about getting married. You should be living your life. You should be out there dating. You should be out there clubbing or whatever you like to do. You should be out there living your best life. And not thinking about being tied down to a man or a woman in your mid-20s. I mean, there's so much life to live. Now, mind you, tomorrow's not promised, but live your life. Like Rihanna said, live your life. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why are you're still a child. Your mind isn't fully developed until you're like 25, 26.
Curtis.
I won't be coming back until Saturday when you leave.
Go out there and live your life. But, some of these people, they want to get married. They want to lock it down. Now, let's start off with our first couple. Zaina. Now, Zaina and JR, they are actually older. They're in their 30s. But you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. JR is playing in Zaina's face.
But like a sucker, you walk around, and like a sucker, you going down.
But we'll get to that a little bit later. Zaina is 32, I believe, and so is JR. They're 32 and 33. They met on a dating app. They've been in a relationship for 3 years, but Zaina wants to take it to the next level, and so she therefore gave JR an ultimatum. He's a personal trainer and clearly clout chasing, clearly trying to build his presence, clearly very superficial, and clearly, like I said, playing in Zaina's face. And is it me or they both kind of look like brother and sister? And then these braids he has, come on now, on the hairline, And Zaina, is it me? She kind of reminds me of Cardi B in a weird way. I don't know what it is, but she looks very familiar. But the hesitation for JR is because he's been in a relationship before that, he's been married before. He was married very young at the age of, I guess 18. He divorced at 22. He was very young when he got married and divorced. And he said because he was from a religious family, his father was a pastor. But later on, we find out that he was homeless. So did the father not have a church? Or when did the pastoring start? That's why I like longer length reality shows where you can really dig in and find out more about these people. Because there's a story to tell. There's more to this story. But anyhow, so next up we have Nick and Sandy. Nick is like 10 years older than Sandy, but it doesn't really look like he's 10 years older than Sandy. He's 38 and she's 27. He's an artist and she's obviously still a party girl. She gives me the impression that if she had it her way, she would be on Vanderpump Rules. She's a partier and she talks like, thank you. And according to JR, she has nice calves. She has big calves. I don't know why that is. I have such big calves. I can't stand the way she talks. And it seems to me that she's kind of using Nick, in my opinion. It doesn't seem like an equal exchange of love. But then again, he is on here, with the ultimatum. He's given her the ultimatum to get married. He's 38. She's 27. He says she's still in her Coachella era and he's in his stagecoach era. That didn't really ring well, but I see what he was trying to do with that. But Nick, move on. You know this girl is young and still trying to have fun. He wants to move out of LA. He's been there for 15 years and she's like, "He's been here for 15 years. I'm not ready to go." She's in love with LA. She loves it. She doesn't want to leave. She's still partying. And she probably comes home. He says she drunk dials. Why? Yeah, he's probably close. Like, babe, let me in. Then, they do what they do. In the morning, he probably gives her gifts or whatever, buys her bags. But you know what? Whatever. You chose a woman 10 years younger than you. And they've been dating for 2.5 years. So therefore, she was like, what, 24 and a half when they first started dating. So, girl, keep dating, keep having fun, but we'll get to her later. So then next there was Mariah and Caleb. They were pretty boring, but really Mariah's 24, Caleb is 29. She's ready to get married. Why, I say? You're 24 years old. Your brain isn't fully developed.
Breath smelling like Similac.
Although she doesn't register 24 to me. If anything, I would have given her maybe 30, but, whatever. But she, posed the ultimatum to him. And then there's Scotty and Aria, which I won't forget their names because my father, R.I.P., is Scotty and my niece is Aria. But is it me or Scotty might be Rams's brother from Love is Blind? They look alike to me. They look like they could be related at least. They don't really look alike. But Scotty posed the ultimatum to Aria, and Aria is like, "I'm well into my career and I'm not ready to get married and we live in different states." But then she told someone else that she lived in the Bay and he lives in Los Angeles. So is that not the same state? Last time I checked, the Bay and Los Angeles were in the same state of California, but maybe she meant another Bay. But Aria is 25 years old. She does not need to get married. She connected with JR, but we'll get to that later. And then we have Chanel and Micah. She wants to get married. She has some bad finger waves slash baby hair edges, but she's a pretty girl. And he's kind of a dorky guy, but she wants him to marry her. And he doesn't want to get married. He's 28. She's 27. He calls her wifey, but then questions, what would make you a good wife? Well, you call me wifey, you tell me. Yeah, I think that Micah and Chanel are playing a weird game. He's gaslighting her by calling her wifey or wife. Like, come on now, don't give anybody that title. So you're giving her hopes, Micah, and I don't know why she even wants him. Like, she could do better. He's such a weenie in my mind. Like,
But like a sucker, you walk around, and like a sucker, you going down.
everything about him. But then there's Vanessa and Dave. Vanessa is an influencer and Dave is a copywriter. And they're both, well, Vanessa's 30 and Dave is 34. So she gave the ultimatum. That's right. I couldn't remember. Is it me or Vanessa kind of looks like Ben Stiller? All right. So then, they all go through these, they go on they go on speed dates and they find connections. And it seems as though, JR is connecting with Sandy with her big calves and also with Aria because, he's from a family of 7 siblings, and she's from a family of 8. And they both had struggles growing up, so they related to each other. But did you notice that JR has 2 different sides to him? He's all like, sex, shots with Sandy.
So when you don't want to take a little bubble bath, you want to cover your little breasts with some bubbles.
But then he's, being really...
Girl, dog, we got your pussy whipped.
And having, letting his guards down and being vulnerable with Aria. But then later on, we see that JR and Micah, they meet up for a little bro session. And basically, JR asked him, had he ever been with a white girl? And Micah said, well, relationship or, you know, hooked up? Yeah, I've been with her when I hooked up, never relationship. And JR said, I kind of want to, you know, find out, you know.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
You know, there are obvious other choices here, but, you know, Aria, she's safe. But, you know, I just kind of want to get with Sandy. And you know what that says to me?
It's a oasis in here, bruh.
He's a hoe. And he wants to sow his wild oats. Because of his religious background and getting married early, I'm sure he hasn't been with as many as he would have liked to have been with. So he just wants to try it all out. This is a candy store for him. This is a hall pass for him. And Zaina, all I have to do is say is run. But then let's move on. And then we're not going in real order. So, you know, there were other connections. So, Zaina was connecting with Scotty. And they were asking all the questions, getting to know each other. You know, they were going deep, as they said. But then, you know, Aria caught wind of it. Aria, she was the first one to crack everybody. Now, mind you, I haven't seen any other seasons, but I understand. That would be hard for me to watch. That would really be hard for me to watch. I mean, even running into an ex, seeing him with somebody new, if it's fresh, it's kind of weird. It's kind of, you're taken aback. So Aria just totally had a meltdown and then actually stepped to him like, can we have a talk? But then Scotty starts yelling at her. Aria, I was the one who wanted to marry you. I was the one who wanted to get married, not you. And he was just yelling. And to me, that was a red flag. I was like, you yelling at her in public with all these cameras and all these people watching? That's a red flag. Now, I don't think yelling at each other at any point in time is a good thing, is a green flag, but in public is a red flag. I mean, you know, sometimes things happen where some yelling has to happen.
Your couch, nigga. Buy another one, you rich motherfucker.
But that's in the privacy of your own home or your own quarters, but not in public. So if I was Zaina, I'd run. But, you know, I don't know. This is a pressure cooker, so I don't know. Things happen. I'm not there. But I just didn't like when Scotty started yelling at Aria. And she was having a whole meltdown. She came up to them with red eyes and tears. I was like, girl, why didn't you just wash those eyes before you approached them? But she did. So Chanel and Dave, they were having a little connection. And Dave asked Chanel, you know, has she ever, you know, dated a Jewish guy? And she said, you know, you would be my first Jew. Is it me or I could tell that he was Jewish. I mean, his head is made for a yarmulke. And that's not being anti-Semitic if that's what y'all are thinking. It's just that, you know, I used to babysit in the synagogues when I was in my 20s. I would be at a synagogue like every Friday and every Saturday I would be at synagogue. So I kind of know. I'm kind of Jewish myself then, if that's the case.
Hey, Josephus! Hey, motherfucker.
But he wasn't having an easy time, Dave. He wasn't. When he saw Vanessa connecting with old girl's guy, the artist, the 38-year-old artist. His name is escaping me right now. Nick. When Nick was connecting, that was really rubbing Dave the wrong way. And go figure. I just knew it when I saw that there was a Nick and Vanessa, that there would be a connection there. It's just like, you can't write this stuff. You just really can't. Or you can write it. Production did write it. So then, you know, Nick was having this Nick's connection with Vanessa, you know, Nick being an artist. Vanessa said she went to art school, but she was horrible, so she left art school. They were really vibing, unlike what he does with Sandy, which seems to be purely sexual to me. His connection with Sandy, and he's just like, he likes chasing her, but he really has a better connection with Vanessa. But Nick was, you know, connecting with Chanel, but I don't think it was that deep. I think it was just by default. Although I think Chanel is a pretty girl, I just don't think he was into her. He really wanted his Ben Stiller lookalike Vanessa.
So nasty. And that's what happened. So rude.
And but Chanel gave him some advice. You know, you're having a hard time. Just smile. Let's look away and let's turn to each other and just smile. You know what? I took that as good advice because I've always been someone where people say, smile. You need to smile more. And I'm like, what is there to smile about? I'm just straight face. I have RBF. Whatever. But I took that as, I always look at things for a learning lesson. And yeah, let's smile. Who smiles? Like, I mean, to me, smiling, I laugh a lot, but I don't necessarily smile a lot. I just don't. But that was good advice. And he took it and he ran with it. So, they were playing these shady games that, they were playing quarters. And I don't remember quarters going like that, but maybe, yeah, I guess so. So they were playing quarters. Basically, you ask a question, you flip the coin, and then you ask. It's almost like, well, who did you not connect with? And Arya said Dave, and Dave thought Arya was going to be his connection. But was it Dave or was it Nick? I don't know. It was one of the white guys. But they were like, uh-oh. I'm sorry, but we didn't. Face on the floor.
Okay, I don't like you anyway, and you know that.
But so this game got shady because it got to the roots of who was really connecting and who you didn't want your mate to connect with. But guess what? It all came true. They even played a game of Never Have I Ever. And see, this is the thing I peeped about Sandy and Nick. They seem like swingers. They seem like they'd be on HBO's Real Sex if it was still on. Because they said that, oh, have you ever been to an orgy? They were like, no. Yes, you have. We went to a sex party. And they said, we never participated. Okay, how about this participated? Not participated, but, it's dialects, whatever. This isn't a grammar lesson. But there's some freaks. Sandy's a freak.
My father's doing coke. My mother thinks she's Aunt Margaret. She's teasing the hair with a bottle of vodka.
And that's what JR gravitated to. He said, Arya's safe, but Sandy, she a freak. That's what I want. So then, they get to the table where it's time to make a decision who they're going to swap with. And everybody tells these sentimental stories of why they had a connection. So, and we see that Zaina and Scotty connected. Nick and Vanessa connected. Go figure. Let's talk about the default couples. The couples that really didn't truly have a connection, but, because we're in this experiment, we have to choose someone. Let's just say Micah and Mariah. Maybe because they have their M&Ms. They didn't really have a true connection, but somebody had to connect with them and then Chanel and Dave, they weren't really connecting like that romantically. They were connecting platonically. So these couples, the only couples that really had some form of chemistry at all was JR and Sandy, because he wants a Sandy fest.
I'll rock your world.
And Scotty and Zaina, but Scotty's a red flag. Scotty has anger issues. Scotty wants to control. That's what I see. He wants to control because he wants Micah, not Micah. Micah sounds like a girl name, but he wants Arya to basically acquiesce to his way. She's well into her career. She's doing well, but he wants her to move. So he can come and abuse her and verbally abuse her and tell her what to do. And no, ma'am. No, sir. Keep it moving.
You not believe in love.
Keep it moving, Scotty. Beam it up, Scotty. Bye. But these are all young kids. And you know what? This is only episode 1 and 2.5, so stay tuned for more. Drop into the comments and tell me your thoughts. Do you think these were real connections or lustful connections, or we're just on a TV show connecting? Like and subscribe.